My name is Christopher Chess. I've been with Ames for a total of 12 and a half years. I started in 2009. I'm based in Chippenham, which is Wiltshire, and I've lived in Wiltshire for 30 years, so I have firm roots in the area. Well, I think the most part I've enjoyed is actually feeling part of a network, and I have really enjoyed the conferences and social events held by Ames, because it's allowed me to talk freely with other Ames accountants, and surprisingly enough, we have so much in common, and also on the other side of things, we have similar problems and concerns. And being part of Ames, I've never ever felt alone. I've always felt that I'm part of a large organisation with backup and good colleagues. That's quite a difficult one because nobody can actually predict the future. But what I can say is that if I hadn't joined Ames, the transition from employment to self-employment would have been impossible. I would have had to have remained in the corporate world, and at that time, 2009, there was redundancies, hire, fire, plant closures, sending manufacturers to China, all the vogue and the rage. You had no control over your own destiny. It was a type of stress because having no control, you were swept in a tide and you just had to accept what was coming. But having joined Ames, it gave me the opportunity to make that huge move from corporation to self-employed. And if you ask me now, would I do it again? I'd say yes. I have no regrets. Well, for me, the transition from being employed to self-employed was huge. And also the transition from industry into practice is massive. It cannot even be compared as the same job. And Ames gave a framework of how to approach the problem of starting self-employed from ground zero. First of all, Ames gave a very good structure of how to actually sign up clients, 5 steps when you're meeting clients, how to conduct a formal meeting, and how to close a deal. Very important. Also, Ames gave very good conversion courses to what is actually relevant in private practice. In industry, we didn't have any notion about HMRC working, the agents, what agents were for, what forms were necessary to complete certain tasks. But in the conversion course, all that was covered. Another point I can say that the backup, and particularly the technical backup from Ames, was crucial. We had advice on HMRC rules, which are constantly changing and increasing, and quite honestly, it's too much for one person to ever fully research. By the time you finished researching, it's changed. So to have a technical backup is crucial. And finally, I will say we had a lot of advice from Ames about running our own business, because this doesn't come naturally to accountants. We serve others in business, but running our own is not natural. So that help and advice was so important. Well, I don't consider myself a success. I've just managed to keep my head above the water in a deluge of rules and regulations. I don't think I've considered myself a success. I've just managed. And Ames has helped me manage, and by giving me advanced notice of major changes, so I can prepare in advance. Also, Ames, they've given me advice on new solutions and IT, which I never would have known about. And thanks to this, the forewarning and advice, I've been able to prepare for all the HMRC changes and rule changes without too much trouble. And I say, I don't consider myself a success. I just managed to do what I needed to do. My words of advice, I've got four bits of the first bit of advice is to remember that a new member to Ames is running a business, and all we have to sell is our time, nothing else. And what I was to tell is to take stock of the needy clients, those clients that are constantly need hand holding, and after 2 or 3 years, shake the tree and lose time wasters, lose bad clients who will not allow you to work efficiently. That's the first bit of advice. The second bit is that clients are not friends. You can be friendly with them, but you must not be familiar. Always have that slight, line that must not be crossed, because from experience, if you're too friendly or too familiar, some can take advantage. Third bit of advice I have for new accountants is after the initial startup, your time becomes more valuable, and my advice would be to subcontract the low-grade work, such as bookkeeping, payroll. The value added to that is minimal. Subcontract and do the high-grade work yourself. Don't get drowned in detail. And finally, my fourth bit of advice for new accountants is that don't expect early results. Just expect 18 months to 2 years before you reach a stable income and before things settle into a pattern. It is not a quick process, but surely it will come with a little effort, but it will take 18 months to 2 years. Don't be too disappointed in the early years. You will reach your goal. That's my advice.